with so many running backs that they utilize, Ingram to Edwards to Dobbins, what kind of challenge does that present, and what do you think about that group as a whole?
Excellent group, but they're pretty much consistent on what they're doing with each back. I mean, the skill sets are fairly similar. I think that most of the plays are similar. Concepts are the same, so I think they would appear interchangeable. They're utilizing them all. They're all playing. They're all getting carries, and it's a huge challenge. Huge challenge to stop the running game, and those guys are downhill runners, good vision. They've all taken care of the football. So that it's going to be a challenge for us to not only stop them, but the quarterback and anybody else they may hand it to.
John, go ahead.
Hey, Mike. Wondering, when it comes to the pass rush with you guys, what are kind of the benefits, maybe in broad strokes, of running stunts schemes versus sort of a traditional pass rush? And do you kind of prefer one in general, for your personnel?
I think that there's each week, or philosophically, I think throughout the league, I mean, there's games that people run, how well you run them. You need a penetrator, you need a looper, 2-man game, 3-man game. How you set them up, how you execute them. Sometimes the picker comes free, sometimes the penetrator comes free, or sometimes the looper comes free. There's things you talk about with contain. And then sometimes on if you're just pass rushing one-on-one, do you give the guy a two-way go on the end and he comes under and the quarterback's out on the edge, or there's a lot of things to consider and how you want to go into each game on handling the quarterback that's back there.
Right, and I had one on Rashawn also. I guess he's probably been getting a little bit more action on third down last couple of weeks. How has he fared? Whether it's rushing or coverage wise.
I think when we do okay on third down, we get off the field, everybody does well enough, and when we don't get off the field, we didn't rush or we didn't cover well enough.
Alrighty.
His role changes each week, and sometimes there's some more involvement than others, and he studies and tries to learn. There's multiple positions that ask a lot to make sure guys are understanding different positions. So I appreciate Rashawn and the other guys that do that as well, trying to learn
that. David Buckler.
Mike, how much has the increase in offenses going for it on fourth down added to defensive game planning these days? And do you have maybe some fourth down packages that you wouldn't use in other situations during the game?
It's all based on down and distance, how much they need, what their philosophy is on fourth down and 1, fourth and 2. So you're trying, they usually have, what they feel like is their best play, or, maybe it's 4th and 1 and it's, or 4th and very short, and, it's a sneak team, and that their philosophy is to sneak, and, you're going to try to be good against that, to give up, to stop that, or, maybe they're going to try to have a misdirection, boot, get somebody on the edge, get the quarterback moving, or maybe there's some sort of zone read element. So each week, I think it changes based on what their overall philosophy is.
Tron?
Yeah, what's up, Coach? What the Ravens do with misdirection and even read option and just the different things to keep your eyes going all over the place. How do you tell your guys up front and even at the second level of the defense to cover that?
Well, it's not all option football, but there's a lot of that. And I think sometimes that they do a great job of, running that stuff, but then they also are very proficient with just some normal run plays, gap schemes, zone schemes where the quarterback's not reading somebody. There's a lot of jet motion, a lot of motion, backfield sets, flashers. You just have to try to read your keys and give them a responsibility on each play and hope that, they're taking care of those responsibilities.
Terry?
Mike, when you're going against a guy like Lamar Jackson who has so much mobility, how much do you look at stats like hurries or quarterback hits and stuff, and are those sometimes as important as sacks in trying to slow a guy like that down?
I think it's just how you affect him. He does it. Guys try to tip the ball. He does a great job of arm angle. He doesn't care. There's free rushers all over the place. People run, blitz zero, and there's a free rusher inside or outside, and it doesn't bother him one bit. He either pumps them and takes off and runs, or just steps up and delivers the ball. He's got a lot of confidence in what he's doing. So trying to find ways to disrupt him is going to be critical. Trying to get him on the ground, not diving, not trying to kill him, not trying to go for, a big hit, but just trying to have the ability to somehow get him on the ground.
Paul?
Hey, Mike. Years past, you've talked about not really worrying about Derek's workload and giving him the ball as much as it took to win. Yesterday, Ryan said that it's been a very conscious effort to kind of limit him to some degree. I'm wondering about the change in philosophy and what's prompted it and what your thinking is with regard to his workload.
Ryan, our quarterback?
Ryan, your quarterback.
Yeah, no, when Ryan plays, Arthur and I make decisions on the offense. We wanted to try to get some work in there with Deontay and against Cincinnati, and when we got into a situation that the kind of 2-minute hurry up, we ran Jeremy a little bit because we thought we could gain yards that way. Derek wasn't in. I don't think that there's some number that we're looking at and trying to adhere to. I think a lot of it is just based on flow of the game, how he feels and how many carries he's had in consecutive. Sometimes we go on the ball, sometimes we're going fast and he's not in there, or sometimes he is and he kind of comes out. So, I don't think that it's it's something that is glaring. I think that's kind of the flow of the game and the way that it goes.
Mike Chiardi?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, I'm curious what you see from Lamar in the sense that there's been less maybe explosive running plays from him this year. Is that sort of maybe defenses just getting more accustomed to the way they play, or is that sort of him evolving as a quarterback and trying to be more of a passer?
I think that's, misleading. It's still scary. He still goes, 60 or whatever he went in third down, against the Eagles, and then, just watching him in the red zone go, scramble 20 yards in 2 seconds against the Steelers for a touchdown up the middle. And it just seems like he goes as far as he has to. And I don't see any difference. It just, still explosive, still very talented. Going to have to get a lot of people around him and make sure that we're staying on our feet and trying to get them down.
Chris Harris.
Mike, yesterday you talked about how Baltimore is a team that likes to made its money on starting fast and scoring points early. And last year, you guys were able to neutralize that by forcing a couple early turnovers. How much more will you harp on that this week with your guys about looking for turnovers, trying to create turnovers? And I know it's a thing that you always try to do every week, but maybe this week in particular.
Yeah, I mean they have fumbled the ball. I mean they're in the shotgun, they're in pistol, a lot, and so. When you read when there's a mesh point, sometimes that, the ball has a tendency to maybe find the ground. I'm sure that everybody works on that to avoid that, but, they have had, some snaps that haven't been, where they needed them to be, and, trying to take advantage of those opportunities. Trying to find ways to get turnovers. We caught a tipped over throw last year. We got a 4th and 1 stop, which is just like a turnover, which we capitalized on. I mean, I think it's always huge if we can try to win the turnover margin and obviously take care of the football on our end. It doesn't do you any good if you're getting turnovers but giving it back to them. This is the defense that is very good at it. They got 2 corners that have combined for 7 forced fumbles, which is probably unheard of. It's impressive to watch those guys do it. We'll have to be conscious of where they are when we catch it on them, or if we're running, that they're looking to hammer it out of there.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Have a great day, guys. Thank you.